Hey, what's up everybody? Tyler from 10thumbspro.com coming at you with part 2 of our chord melody lesson. Last week I taught you how to write a melody. You should watch that video if you haven't yet, but even if you haven't, it won't be necessary because we're going to walk through the melody. Today I'm going to show you how to harmonize the melody. So we're going to take this and turn it into this. Okay? So that way you can turn your melodies into chord melodies. Not only your own melodies, if you know how to play the melody to a popular song, you will also be able to create your own chord melodies, which is really cool. Okay? Alright, so we're going to wake them the whole thing. Real quick plug, 10 Thumbs hoodies in. You get your own 10 Thumbs hoodie sweatshirt. That's really cool. Become a Patreon. You get a PDF with this lesson and all our lessons starting at $1 creation. You can cap that as low as $1 a month. Cheaper than a cheap cheeseburger, and it will accelerate your learning. Skype lessons one-on-one as well. But if you came just because you're ready to make your own chord melodies, that's cool. I dig it and I respect it. Grab that ukulele brain attention span, follow me on in, and let's break this lesson down right now. Alright everybody, so today we are harmonizing a melody, and we're going to use the melody that we used from last week. I'm going to play through it really quick, so if you don't know it, you got it, but I would encourage you watching the video last week so you can create your own melodies, which is the ultimate goal. But let's look at the melody we're using today. It goes like this. Okay, so that is our melody. Now, the next thing that we want to look at is we know we're in the key that comes from the A major scale. So let's look at all the chords we have access to in A major. We have an A, B minor, C sharp minor, D major, E major, even though we'll probably be using it more like an E7, F sharp minor, and there's also like this G sharp diminished chord as well that you can get in there. But we're not really going to be using that chord. It's a little less common to use that chord unless you're using it as passing. That diminished chord could have its own lesson. So I babbled on a little too long about that, but that's what's going on with that. Okay, so we're going to break this down phrase by phrase. Okay, so it's going to really help to get your phrases into where they're at in timing. So we're going to put up that first phrase. We know it goes 1, 2, and 3, 4, 1, and 2, 3, 4. So what we're really looking for is what chords we can use to turn that into a chord melody. Now, we're going to need to know how many chords we're going to use and when to change. This melody seems to change chords nicely on the bar because we have the first half of it and then the second half of it. So we just need a chord right now for that first half. Now we're starting off with the 5th of the scale and the 3rd of the scale. Both of those notes are in your A major. The last note's more important, so we're really looking at this last note, this C sharp. You could go through the scale and say, okay, what notes have a C sharp? A major has a C sharp minor has a C sharp in there as well, right? But F sharp, F sharp does as well too. F sharp minor does well. So those 3 chords we could use to potentially harmonize this note. But having this E in there makes it really easy with our A chord because our A chord has both an E and a C sharp in it. Okay. The best way to discover that is to look at the chords, write out the notes, and then look at the scale and then start to match them up. The more you do that, the less often you're going to have to do that because you'll start to see more patterns happening frequently. Okay. So we're going to harmonize it like this. This is an A bar chord based on this F shape. I bar the 4th fret, middle finger on the 5th fret of the E string, ring finger up here on the 6th fret. I get my pinky down though on the 7th fret of the A string, which is where our melody starts. 1, 2, and. Okay? And what I've done is I've taken this, identified what chords those notes belong to, and created this. Okay? Now you do want rhythm outside of just the melody, which is 1, 2, and 3, 4. So what we're going to do is we're going to do down, mute, strum, up, mute. Okay? First half of the phrase. I'm going to go down, and this time I'm going to examine my notes. I see that if I make a B minor chord, a D note is in a B minor and a B note is in a D minor. Now, my C sharp is not in this chord, but you're going to see that sometimes you're going to use chords that aren't chord tones, and you can try to harmonize them and play with them. So what I've done is I've harmonized it, and it's actually making a B minor 9. That's okay. That's an okay extension. So I'm playing it with my pinky here on the 4th fret of the A string, and I'm going to strum through, and then I'm going to move it up to the 5th fret, back to the 4th fret, and then strum through my B minor again. Now, if you might be thinking the question, okay, that's really cool, but how do I know which color tones I can use to fit in that chord? You can play with them A and see if they work. That's one way to do it. Another way is to think more about the last note. If I were to really try to harmonize it here, I would think about that note more so. It also is in an E7, for example. So there are other ways to get around it, but you could experiment with all the chords that has that last note in there. So our first phrase, Harmonize, now sounds like this. Alright, because that's on the 3rd beat, I'm going to add a mute to it. So we get 1 and 2, 3, 4. 1, 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2, 3, 4. Now, our second phrase we already know, because we already did the melody, is exactly the same. Alright. Now we're on our 3rd phrase, the one that creates a little tension. And this phrase finishes on the 5th fret up here, or our D note. So we need to identify a good chord that has a D note in it from our scale. Well, luckily, after comparing all the notes from the chords we shared earlier with our scale, I can see that a B minor has a D note in it. So I'm actually going to use the same chord we harmonized for that other phrase to play something like this. 1 and 2, 3, 4. So we get now we just need to find a way to harmonize our last phrase, and we've created our own chord melody. Our last phrase goes ba 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 ba, and it starts up here on this 4th fret here, this D note. Now we could use a D chord, for example. That'd be okay, but D is also the 7th of our E7. Your 5 chord, in the key of A, it's E. Your 5 chord loves to create a little extra tension. So you're able to go with an E7, boom, 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 and when we drop down to here, where we start on a B, for example, we could use B minor, but our E7 also has a B note in it. And because our E7 is a nice tense note that loves to go to the A, it sounds even a little better. And then we finish on an A. Okay, because that is the resolution of the song, and if you really, really want to finish the song strong, you want to finish in the key of A major, for example, on an A chord with an A note. That'll be your strongest resolution. So that last phrase, really leaning hard on our 5th chord, which again is our dominant, which again loves to go to our 1 chord. It's a great chord to play right before you finish the song. Okay, so we play the whole chord melody together, we get this. Alright, cool. That is actually the entire chord melody tune. Alright everybody, 10thumbspro.com. That was the whole lesson, how we took our melody and how we turned it into chord melody. So now you can write your own melodies and harmonize them, which means you are free to make your own chord melodies. I would love to see them. Put them on Instagram at 10thumbspro.com. Alright? Until next time, keep on rocking and rolling, keep on loving life, because it is all good, my friends. Alright everybody, so there it was. Again, new ukulele every single Wednesday, Saturday. Every other Friday we do lessons for Spanish songs in both English and Spanish. We do bonus videos, Guitar Monday. A lot of it's sent to subscribe, give it a thumbs up. Think about copying your 10 thumbs gear, it really helps us out as well. And just keep on jamming, alright? Think about becoming a Patreon too, $1 creation, caps low as $1 a month. And until next time everybody, just keep on rocking and rolling, keep on loving life. It's all good folks, take care.